another ACN mix tutorial. If you're first time watching, go watch our previous videos on how to mix, how to put other things in order, session preparations, how to mix a snare, how to mix a kick, how to mix a choir, all that stuff. It's all in there. Like, subscribe, leave us some comments at the bottom of this video, and stay tuned. We're going to talk about a problem most people have with their mix is because before you mix, the issue is gain staging. Gain staging sounds scary. It sounds like a big monster. We don't know what's going on here, but I'm going to explain how you can control that. And one of the issues with a mix getting distorted and bleeding is because it's not properly leveled. And we have to work with inputs and outputs. And that's always going to be a struggle. I don't care who it is, it constantly happens, and you have to balance things out. You have to balance everything out with the input, the output, and the mix bus, or however, whatever aux you're sending to, whether it's the master fader or the mix bus. We'll make a tutorial for that a different time, but until then, let's focus on gain staging. So we have a kick here. I'm going to turn off the EQ. There's no compression on it. It's being sent to a drum mix, which is a bus that I set up, sending all my drums there. And we'll get to that tutorial as well in the future as well. So take a look at this one. What's the situation? I think she's in the place she needs to be. And let's listen. Let's look at the fader on the kick. And let's see with it unprocessed. It is hitting just about over minus 30 dB of volume. This is your input. This is your output. This is input information, that meter you're seeing. And if it sends information here, you can control the input volume with the output volume right here. And this volume right here on this fader sends all that information to your mix bus or other inputs and outputs. Like I have this thing called input. It's a second master fader that tells me all the volume that's going in. I can control that so we don't bleed. And it's sent to the master fader, to the mix bus. To the mix bus is sent to the master fader. So we want to keep these three volumes leveled out. These two are 0, and this one is minus under 10. So we got a good volume there. And even when we turn the plugin on, the volume is good. There's the EQ on the SSL Mix Hub by Chris Lord Algae. So we got a little bit of volume here, but you know what? We're not bleeding. This mix bus is coming in smooth. She's good. Once I was to put everything else on, you'll probably get more feedback from it. Here is the master fader. Everything is smooth. It's good. Now, how do we control this? How do you gain stage? Now, I don't know what DAW you're using. I'm in Pro Tools. If you're in Logic Pro or whatever DAW you're using, it's all available at your fingertips. You would know, you would have to find it, discover it if you never heard of it, and you can look it up. But I'm going to show you how I do it. It's simple right here on this clip or track. So I'll raise it, and when the drums were recorded, it was a little louder volume, and maybe when you received the drum file or when you recorded it, here's the input volume going a little bit higher. And maybe it was like that. Maybe that because your mic was too loud. And that's fine because we can gain stage that. But always, I always say if you want a good mix, have a good recording as well. Always make sure everything is recorded properly so you can get a good mix properly. But if you didn't and someone recorded it improperly, which, it is what it is, we can always gain stage it downer. So here's what it'll look like when we play it with the volume that high. It's a little bit louder. Or maybe you gain staged, maybe you received the file or you gain staged it too high or you got it like this and she's even higher. And this is with the plugin on. It's distorting. And it's distorting because let's look at the information sent here. All this is distorting. Mixbus is doing good, but the input information is too loud. And it's also hitting the master fader pretty hard. So we'll go back. I'm going to go to undo, trim the clip, put it back to where it was. Let me do that one more time. She's right where she needs to be. Before you start slapping plugins on, gain stage everything. Gain stage everything to a certain level. Don't let your eyes fool you. Don't look at it with your eyes. Hear it with your ears, then watch your meters and make sure. Some people like to do it the scientific way. Well, we want to get a certain sound at 20 dB minus, and I really don't know. I'm not a scientist, but use your ears, and if it sounds good to you, it'll sound good to everybody else, maybe. So that's how you gain stage. So whatever information is lifted or lowered here, it's going to come to the output of the fader here, and it's going to affect your master fader or your mix bus as well. So gain stage, put it in order before you start slapping plugins. And then when you did, and let's say you wanted to gain stage from the plugin, you can do that. Let's say you got the sound you're looking for, you can go to the plugin, and this is how you correct it by matching the audio. And you can bring down, pay attention where it says output right here. You could bring down this output, but I recommend gain stage first, because sometimes you might lose volume. You might want to raise it from here. But remember, this is kind of like that clip. Whatever you lower and raise here, it's going to appear in the output as well. So gain stage properly, get that setting, and you can volume match with the plugin as well. Figure out, give it a try before you start putting plugins all over the place. Match the volumes, get everything in order, and do everything you can so you come to a place that all you focus on is making your levels, putting your levels up, down, mixing, that you don't have no issues. If you did, you run across them, that happens, it's fine. But you can solve the problem before you run into the problems. That's just what I think. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it helped you. I hope it blessed you. Send it to someone who's dealing with this type of issue. And like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And if you have any questions, you can leave me a comment, and I'll get back to you as well. So ACN Studios, thank you for stopping by.